Hey, sorry I yelled. Oh no.
Welcome to Brothers of Booze. How are you doing today, Doug?
And we're starting off with a bang. Welcome to Brothers and Booze, folks.
This is why I keep you around, for witty comebacks like that.
I was not expecting that. I was expecting like a tongue to come in the window or something. I was not expecting the writing banging at the end. That was
Well, the sun came in. Sun came in.
No,
yeah, but I mean, like, I thought it was gonna be like,
Right. Well, neither did she. Look at her face.
Sorry I yelled. Oh no.
look at her at the beginning. The face is like,
Right. And we're like, ah!
yeah, it's quite a start.
What's not making me go, ah, is this Hell's Bach from Alewife. You've seen this one?
Yeah, I have it. I just haven't had it yet.
Yes. Nice, smooth, clean, little citrus lager. 4.9.
Mm-hmm.
Really nice. I've grown to appreciate a good Hell's Bach lager. I wasn't a fan when I first started doing craft beer because I wanted to get away from this taste, if that makes sense. The normal lager taste. But I'm also too, craft beer breweries have come around and started to make, not that they weren't before, but I think there's more of a mass appeal now and more of a mass brewing of lager styles.
Yeah, and a lot more going back to the classic styles. Are seeing a lot more of a return to that. So,
cheers, Daniel.
Yeah. So what? So you said nice and crisp and good.
Yes. I don't know. This is drinking more like a Pils, actually. To be really honest, and again, I don't know. Maybe I'm just coming around on Hell's Lagers, but I wasn't really a fan of them when I first jumped in. Even before the pandemic, it wasn't. So I don't know. I'm coming around. Good.
Like I said, sometimes if you can get, I think you and I talked about the idea of like, sometimes you might not like that particular style, but you can also appreciate that. Oh, they made this really good for the style. So maybe it's.
I don't know. My good friends over at Working Draft, they make a great one too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think I'm coming around to them.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So I'm going to start with something light as well, since it's still warm. Wolves with Lime. It's an American wheat ale with lime from the North Brewery, which made a stop over there. Their can art is not my favorite most of the time. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. This one's only 4.5%, but woo, super limey on the nose. Woo! Which I am a fan of lime. So, brought out the big glass.
Big glass. Yeah, I didn't even pour. Yeah.
Look at that nice color on the wheat. Yeah, really. You got the wheat and the lime smell together, just really good on the nose. It's okay. It's the lime and the wheat combine in a weird way on the palate for me, but
Wait, did you say the North?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Their sour game of late has been really pretty good, but this was just Wolves is their wheat ale, and then they just added lime to it for this one. But okay, it's nice enough. It's not anything I think is outstanding or anything like that, but decent enough.
Would you say that brewery struggles with light beers?
A lot of people like their pale ales. Not their like they make a regular pale ale that I had on the show called Rick's a Nice Guy. I think I sent you one. I thought that was a pretty decent pale ale. They make some IPAs, but they made a really good Mexican lager. So that was quite good.
Okay.
But yeah, their home stouts for sure. But still,
Yeah.
they're trying to broaden a little bit, and they've done quite a few different sours this year. So yeah, like I said, they've kind of expanded their repertoire a little bit. So cheers.
Cheers. So yeah, this is normally when we introduce our guests. I don't see him in the back, so I'm gonna wait till oh, there he is. Cool. Popped up. Our guest this week, I'm very excited for him to be on. I've been trying to book this mofo since I met him at the bottle share at the festival previously called Fresh Fest. I met him and his sister at the bottle share. His sister is coming up on the show, I think, in October. So I think they're going to be the first brother and sister duo to be on. I can't wait. Latifah talks about she's a real estate agent in Philly, and we're going to talk about all kinds of shit with her. But we have Dave Mack here from Mack Brewing in Philadelphia. He has a fantastic story. He's starting a brewery, has a brewery. Look at this. Here we go. All right, so August 20th. I don't know
You're a little off there with the October call.
Yeah. I booked these people, and then all of a sudden they disappear. So no, Mac has a great story. Now I don't see him in the green room. But I'm sure he'll be back. Yeah, there he goes. So Mac has a very interesting story as far as how he became and has come into breweries. But really the thing that really excites me the most, Doug, and I need to put myself here too, is that that Mack Brewing is going to be in West Philly. That's where I was born and raised. Have a shirt in the playground and all that. We all know all that. Yeah. But meeting them was like meeting a piece of home. Yeah. And I'm gonna introduce Mac right now, and we're gonna jump on here. What's up, Mac? How you doing?
What's going on?
One of the things, Mac, before we even get into anything, one of the things that I want to thank you for, and I also want to thank your sister for, because she's watching too, I believe, is that especially even at the Fresh Fest thing, and ever since I've seen you, I pretty much watch every video or interview that I can see of you to see what the hell's going on, keep going on and all that. What you and your sister have put in me is more of a respect for where I came from. I always have been really, really conflicted about West Philly for many reasons, the move thing, gentrification, all that. And you guys have really, especially, you did an interview a couple weeks ago on, was it Instagram or something, where you were just talking about your love of Philly, why you love your home, why it's important that you are doing what you're doing, where you're doing it. And I just want to thank you because I've always mostly had a negative look about where I came from, and you guys are helping change that. So I want to thank you for that.
Man, that means a lot, man. And I think coming from once you get out of Philly, I think a lot of people come out of Philly and they have that the same way you feel, because we start meeting people from everywhere else, and you start hearing some of the things that they were used to in their city and where they grew up. And it's like it's nothing like how we grew up. Excuse me. And to a certain degree, it was like I kind of felt that way, and then I started meeting people that couldn't navigate the system. Because it's like, granted, Philly can be a very terrible place, like anywhere else in the world, though. And once you start realizing the wonders, like for one, a lot of us, especially in my age range, we didn't know the history of Philly. Some of the things that our city has contributed, from the art museum to music, some of the things that the city has contributed, we don't learn about until we leave. So it's like you go out into the world with this disbelief or this disposition on where you're coming from, And then you start learning more things about the city when you leave. And it's like, oh, well, you know what? I do kind of remember we always listened to this song or this music, but I never knew why. Me and Mrs. Jones was always on WDAS, but I never knew why. And like Motel Philly, yes, you know what I'm saying? Boys the Men. It's like you listen to these songs, and it's like I know me as a kid, even watching Fresh Prince, you never really understood the severity of that whole show
Mm-hmm.
until later. It's like, oh, he's from West Philly, so like I'm from West Philly too. And then I
Right.
started looking at the videos, and it's like, oh, he's playing basketball at my middle school. Oh, no, he's really from around here. Because you always hear, and I think that's really the main thing. We always hear about people coming from the city, and they're always like 100 years older. And it's like everything has changed since before then. And I think now is with Philly, especially when it comes to the beer world, Philly is a place that needs to be heard. It's a place that needs to be visited. And it's a lot more to the city than Old City, the Liberty Bell, and things of that nature. Like it's a lot more history to the city. That doesn't necessarily include Center City. You can't when it comes, especially when it comes to black culture, you can't even talk about Philly until you come from Germantown, of where the Underground Railroad came out at, and then come with your way back down. And then even if you're talking about just migrating to Philly, a lot of our grandparents, we especially coming from Philly, you can agree with me on this one. We give Chester a hard time, but a lot of our family, the first place they stopped off at was
Yeah.
Chester.
Chester.
And then from Chester, a lot of them went from, I know at least mine, it was North Philly. From North Philly, you know what I'm saying, they migrated, they came back to West Philly. And West Philly at that time was a hard place for blacks to come to because West Philly was a Jewish area. And you wasn't here. I remember my dad telling me stories how he would go to school, and he's the youngest of five. And he was he would tell his teachers that he was born and raised in West Philly, and none of his teachers believed him. No, my dad was born in 1960. He actually grew up around the corner from where the move bombing was. What well before that, but uh, they didn't believe him. And now when you think about it, it's like West Philly. If you ask somebody like, if you meet someone, they'll say, "Oh, my grandparents used to live around there," and you wouldn't believe them. But no, before they went across City Line Avenue, they was in West Philly, St. Joe's, all that. That was all right there. But I can go on and on for days, as you can see about that. But
I
that's
know.
not what we're here
I know.
for.
That's part of the reason why you had you on, man. I told Doug I was really excited to talk about West Philly. What's up? What's going on, Doug? You got something?
Yeah. First, what's in your glass, man? What are you drinking? We didn't even
I am
start.
drinking a lambic. I am drinking very light today. A cherry, Linderman's lambic.
The creek, baby.
Mm.
It's
Mhm.
so much going on. I have to chill. I would love to have one of my beers right now, but after I get off of here, I have more things to do, and my beer is not the best for sipping and trying to complete tasks.
No, it's not. We're gonna get to that. Doug, you got a follow up, buddy?
Well, talking about history very quickly.
Mhm.
Just the idea of Philadelphia being considered like the birthplace of democracy, but it's got so much more going on that Greg and I had talked a lot in the show about how all the stuff that like I never learned in school, and all these things. And then, I tell you, I lived an hour north of Harrisburg when I grew up. I was in high school in 1985 when the move bombing happened. I heard nothing about it.
Mhm.
And that's just like a part of history that's pretty serious shit. But not to
Very
get all
serious.
super serious on it, but like hearing that migration path, I didn't know that it started the Underground Railroad in Germantown and moved that. That's the kind of stuff that I I really want to learn and understand. And, it's just hearing it from folks that actually understand it better is really, it's really great. That's why, like when Greg said we're having you on, I was like, cool, we'll have a black brewer on. We've been striving to have a lot more diverse guests. And then you start off with that, and I'm like, all right, now we're getting somewhere. This is good.
Man, it's crazy because when you think about the move bombing, literally, I grew up on 57 and Spruce. So all my family's right around the area. So the move bombing was actually like 62nd and Pine, 62nd and Osage. So all those houses were destroyed. Now the crazy part is, as a child, me, I was in high school in '07. So elementary school, I still went in my neighborhood. They never talked about it until one of my teachers, who was from West Philly, who actually like lived around the corner on Spruce Street when the bombing happened. He said, "Yeah, we thought it was snow, and the ash hit me and burnt the shit out of me." So he was actually there, and we always thought like they were rich because the houses were so different. Never knew that the houses were different because they had to rebuild them. So all the houses on that end were completely different from everyone else's. And I think it was in like the early 2000s they started displacing people in those homes because they weren't sound homes. They weren't built correctly. It was always issues. The homeowners that had the homes had been complaining to the city about them for years, and the city brought them back. And then now those same homes that I thought they were supposed to be ripping them down and building them up again, but they just kind of just made the improvements. They finally made the improvements to last. And now they're going for $250,000. This is a neighborhood that at one point houses went for 30,000, 40,000, 50,000. And you have those same homes over there. And now because it's close to the park, close to Cobbs Creek Park, now those houses are going for 250,000. And that's base. That's not even that's not creme de la creme. That's the base.
Yeah.
And that's one of the main reasons why I have to stay in West Philly. And I have to stay in West Philly because this is a craft that is not seen when it comes to African Americans, and it's not taken seriously. It's starting to be taken seriously with us, but I would like to think that when it comes to, at least in this city, it's people that are more open to it now because they're seeing someone like myself. I'm not going to say I'm the youngest in the game doing it. I'm definitely not going to say that. But as far as I'm very quote unquote radical when it comes to my approach on how I'm trying to get to the next level. And I don't sugarcoat anything. I try my hardest not to sugarcoat anything.
I love that you're so bullish on West Philly and Philly in general. Again, that was part of like what drove me to you guys when I found you from Philly, and just again how you guys talked about it in a manner that I think if a lot of people did who are from Philly, it would change a lot about West Philly. And I think there should be a pride attached to it. With all due respect, fuck Will Smith on this aspect. I mean, again, I like him on that aspect of, you know what I mean? Like he brings that, he's part of the solution. How about that? But at the same time, he's not, everything about West Philly, and there's just so much more diversity and all kinds of different things going on in West Philly that people just don't know. And as far as the move thing goes, I mean, I remember hearing those sounds. I remember my grandmother telling me, I'm from 60th and Sampson. My grandmother was 60th and Sampson. My other grandmother was 61st on 61st Street, right around the corner there. So that was my block. That's my place. 2 blocks off of Chestnut and Walnut, right in between them. Couple blocks from the subway station at 60th Street. Hop on that, go down to the gallery. I mean, man, it's just
the gallery ain't even the same no more, man.
No, I know.
That's the fashion district now.
You're taking me back, man. I love it.
Man,
I love it.
Listen,
so we have
it's
to.
crazy because I'm hearing you talk about your grandparents like around the corner from each other, and like my father's side of the family was on 59th and Pine, and then my mom's side of the family is on 60th and Spruce. So it's like right in that little area. And then I used to hang on like Millick Street and like 61st and Chancellor. So it was like it's like you're staying in that same circle. You get out.
Right.
You
Right.
know, I went to high school in North Philly. I went
Right.
to middle school in Winfield. I went to Beaver. Then I went to high school at Benjamin Franklin. I went to elementary school at Hamilton. So it's like you stay in that area, man, and
Yeah,
you
you
love
do.
it. And then I went to college in
Yep.
North Carolina.
Yep. Damn, man. And
But
my mother got got me out of Philly when I was 8. But I was back in. I mean, I always came to see the Grands. We weren't too far. I mean, we went up to Allentown, but that was just an hour. So I was back during the summer. I was back during weekends. I was back during long weekends, long weekend. So yeah, I don't know. I didn't show my first beer. I don't know, Mac. It's been a crazy week too, man. It's been a crazy week. It's been such a crazy week, Doug. I still have my beers here from last week, literally within arm's reach. And I haven't even moved.
You know how long a week it's been, Greg? The first thing you did was show us the first beer you had.
Oh, really?
listen,
That's what I'm telling you. It's been that kind of week.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant I didn't pour it for you guys. So I poured this one. I was all drinking before we started this damn thing. But I have a Torch and Crown. Torch and Crown, you ever hear about them, Mac? West Coast.
no, where are they at?
I think this is New York. Is this another New York one, Doug?
Yeah, that's from Daniel Fisher. So he sent us both that one.
Look at this
yeah.
can art, though. This shit's simple.
Yeah, it's,
But,
simple. It's good.
So, Mac, yeah, we kind of went in a different way I thought we were going to go, but I love it. I love it for that. But so Mac, where we talked about West Philly. West Philly isn't the first place I think of when I think of someone coming through a craft beer renaissance. So, where do we get the love of craft beer from being a West Philly, Motown Philly guy? Where does that come from?
Man, so
I'm right though, right? Like craft beer in West Philly don't.
you're
gonna make it a thing, man. Don't get me. You're gonna make it a thing, but it ain't a thing.
It ain't a thing. It's not.
Okay.
Okay. So what happened was, well, my first job. If people can Google these things, if you ever visit Philly, my first job was at Valley Green Inn. It's a restaurant. It has no address. It's literally off of like Lincoln Drive. That was my first job, and then my second job that I had at the same time when I was 16 was at the Philadelphia Cricket Club, which is the oldest country club in America. It's also in Germantown. So that was my first jobs. And once I got into the restaurant world, I started really paying more attention to food and beer. So my first craft beer, technically, and I know I've said another beer before on another interview, but after I think about it, my first craft beer technically was Flying Fish. And that
Flying
was
Dog?
Huh?
Flying Dog?
No, Flying Fish. They're out of Trenton, New Jersey.
Oh,
That's right. I've heard of them, and I was thinking of a different one that's out of Watkins Glen. But yeah,
okay. Flying Fish.
Flying Fish out of Trenton, New Jersey. And it was at the country club. So we used to drink a lot at the club. And then once I started like and mind you, I told you my first job. So by the time I was like 18, I was going to a couple spots downtown because coming from West Philly, I wouldn't dare go into a neighborhood bar, but I would love to go downtown. And downtown, they would never card me. So I would go to Notting Hill, and that's when I really, really got the That's oh wow. Hey, that was my first one.
yeah. That's Daniel knows everything about whatever you could think of about beer and alcohol. Like he's
in your area for sure.
Yeah.
So that's when I got on to Notting Hill, and Notting Hill was a microbrew. It's crazy. I just met the owner at Love City, and he knows the head brewer at the time. I haven't seen this guy since I graduated college, and I would love to see him again because he sold me my first sixtel of it was called Monkey Knife Fight. It was a summer ale, lemongrass, I forget what else in it. I never forget. They didn't even sell beer outside of the pub. And I graduated, and he sold me that sixel for $50. And I took it to the cookout. We had a block party on Pine Street. It was an annual block party we always had Memorial Day weekend. And I had that keg with me, and people was like, "What the fuck is this? And where can I get it?" You cannot get it unless you go to the store. You can't get this. You can't get it outside of this. You can go buy your glass. And flying Nottingham. That's what turned me on. And then as I started progressing, I started, hanging out at different spots. I met this young lady. She just happened to be graduating from law school. I think I was still in college, and she was brewing beer in her apartment. At this time, I was thinking about like, oh man, I would love to like. I'm only seeing like Notting Hill yards, like big places. So I'm thinking that's the only way you can make beer. Like you can't make it any other way. And she had a South Philly apartment, and she was making this shit on the kitchen counter. And I said, and she was making a stout after that. Like, so that's what got me turned on the stouts a little bit more. And I said, yo, this is all you need? She's like, yeah. And I went back down to Charlotte. I went to Johnson C. Smith. I went back down to Charlotte. Once I graduated, eventually, because I never like had the money to buy my first kit. So I got my first job. I was working. I was a college recruiter, so I was recruiting high school kids to go to college. So I was always on the road, and my favorite hotel was Marriott. So I had a lot of Marriott points, and then I got hit to the game of you can also use these points if you go on their website to buy items. So you can buy like blenders, TVs, all types of shit. And in the beginning, I said, I'm buying some stuff in me. I had like a cool ass Lego clock. I brought all types of stuff. But then this brew kit came up. I brought my first brew kit with hotel points.
That's awesome.
And yeah. And everybody's Christmas gift after I had that job came from hotel points. I've never spent money on anybody's on anybody's Christmas gift after that.
Because you brew beer.
Maybe don't say that out loud.
I mean, I don't have that job anymore, as I can't even, my points stay for me for, when I wouldn't have those very, very lavish getaways.
Wow.
My first brew kit came from hotel points from my job, and then and down the rabbit hole it went. But I knew I didn't want to start the company in North Carolina. And the crazy part is, I say this, and I'll continue to say this, I was in Charlotte. Charlotte, what most people in the beer industry see it as now, that is not what Charlotte was in 2007 to 2012. So when you're looking at places like Salute, who has like a whole kitchen now, I remember it was literally just a bottle shop. I cannot remember their names. I know they're a married couple. I hope they're still married. They were a married couple from Detroit, and that was I got turned on to them because I couldn't find a place to have in Charlotte that had Victory Summer Love. Because after I got turned on to Nottingham, I always smoked cigars. I've been smoking cigars probably since I was about 15, and I always went to Halts. So Halts will always have like single malts, anything like that. So I would drink that. But once it started getting hot, I don't want nothing that heavy. So I got into the IPAs, and I got into the Victory Summer Loves, the Brooklyn Loves, the Brooklyn Summer Ales, the Sam Adams Cherry Wheats, and all the other crazy stuff.
Sam Adams Summer Ale too is a good one. Was that going on back then?
I don't know. I don't think I had that back then. I did have the cherry wheat. The cherry wheat was definitely one that I was getting. Speaking of Sam Adams, the goal is to have my stock price there. Have you guys looked at the stock price for Sam Adams?
Oh. Don't even get me started on that shit.
I mean, it used to always be around like 200, 300.
200, 100, right.
And now it seems like they brought Dogfish Head for that 300 million.
Right, but
half cash, half shares. and then the pandemic happened, and then that shit just shot up.
Right, but I saw that the people attributed to fucking Truly, the seltzer. Like
Okay,
that's what they attributed to, because I saw it, like you said, $200. In fact, me and my kids did a paper stock thing where we would, I was teaching them the stock market, and we would pick stocks and go for it. This was like 6 years ago. I had Boston Beer Company on my thing because beer and all that. It was like $200. I looked was it 6 months ago? I said something to Doug, and it was like 1,000. I'm like, what? Like, I don't even understand how you can justify this. So then I did a little Googling, Dave, and I found that they said Truly is because what they did was they were able to get Truly out on the seltzer thing before everybody. So they were like one of the first seltzer people, and they had an implant before even bigger beer. That's outrageous. It's just outrageous.
Man.
So Jerry says it's all about the Truly. So they were out and distributed and had that shit set up before it was even a fad, or they were like the leading edge. You know what I mean? So like I think that's where it is. But man, shoot. you gotta shoot for a goal. Shoot, we are here to support you.
Stars, man.
Absolutely. And Doug, you got a question, and then we'll.
Yeah, I happened to look at your Twitter feed and saw that your goal, I thought, was to be the Allen Iverson of craft beer. And why?
Here we go.
Allen Iverson famously was very bad with money.
That's that. I'm not talking. Well, he did get the other half of his Reebok money.
Yes,
but that was not what it was. What it was, the Allen Iverson of craft beer, because at the end of the day, he does not have a ring. He's in the Hall of Fame, but he doesn't have a championship, and you cannot say that he isn't arguably, hands down, one of the best NBA players to ever grace the sport. And the reason I say that is braids were not acceptable in the NBA before Allen Iverson. Do-rags and headbands were not acceptable before Allen Iverson was in the NBA. The fact that sneakers came out, they had commercials, they had fads and everything for the commercials, but for those first like 3 to 4 years, his sneakers came out with a new crossover. No one was doing that at that time. I'm from Philly. Reeboks was not a thing that people were going down to the store to go get. It wasn't. The Reeboks were, if it wasn't Nike, it wasn't on my feet. And it wasn't until Allen Iverson. So the fact that someone can come in the game and put it on his head, like, there was no dress code for the NBA. They put a dress code in because Allen Iverson. Like, you're gonna tell me how to dress? You still gonna cut this check? Like, everybody wanted the crazy earrings that made their earlobes sag because of Allen Iverson. All the rappers, like, even if you look at the rap industry right now, from when it comes to the jewelry, the cars, you cannot say that Allen Iverson didn't have anything to do with that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the idea of how original he was and his style of play being like, I mean, he was listed 6 foot. There's no way that guy was more than 5'9". I mean, he was just an insane athlete. I saw him live once at a Celtics game, and that's the fastest human I've ever seen on a basketball court. And I played in a Nike camp when I was, 18, and the guy I got assigned to guard one time was Kenny Anderson. And that, at that point, was the fastest human I'd ever seen in a court. And Iverson made him look like he was running with 50-pound boots on. Like, he was just insane to watch. And he would go in the middle of everybody and just bounce off everybody. I'm like, how's that guy going to last? And then there's this.
That's my ringtone. This interview is my ringtone.
Yeah, we can't hear it for some reason, but it's the practice.
I promise. Like, if someone was to call my phone, that literally is my ringtone. I promise you, that's been my ringtone for at least at least 15 years. But that's what I meant by it.
I mean, it's
Uh,
not about that at all. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but it's easy to talk about. It's easy to sum it up when you just talk about practice. We
Practice.
sitting here, I'm supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice. I mean, listen, we're talking about practice. Not a game, not a game, not a game. We're talking about practice. Not a game. Not the game that I go out there and die for and play every game like it's my last. Not the game. We're talking about practice, man. I mean, how silly is that, man? We're talking about practice. I know I'm
and that's
supposed to
like
be there.
really
I
where
know
my
I'm supposed to
ringtone
lead
begins.
by example. I know that. And I'm not shoving it aside, like it don't mean anything. I
But
know it's important. I do. I honestly do. But we talking about practice, man. What are we talking about?
Practice?
We're talking
Practice?
about practice, man.
I'm supposed to be the franchise
We talking
player.
about practice. We're talking about practice. We ain't talking about the game.
We're talking about practice.
man.
And that's pretty much what it is, man. That's how I feel. It's just the art of just making beer. And I think when I first got into the game, like when you were saying the formerly Fresh Fest, when you met me, it wasn't until my sister like really convinced me to give the beer to Garrett Oliver. I had no desire. I brought a 6-pack with me. I did not think that beer festival was going to be like that. So the fact that Garrett Oliver tasted.
what do you mean be like that? What do you mean be like that? Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Like when you go to typically you go to a beer festival, it's just like I got my taster. I'm gonna walk around. I'm gonna taste all the beer, and I'm gonna talk to people. I'm gonna shoot the shit. I'm gonna drink some more. That's all it is.
Right.
But Fresh Fest, it was like, oh, you brew beer? You got any with you? I mean, I do. I got 6. That's all you brought with you? I'm like, I didn't think I was gonna be able to share it with anybody. And then I got invited to the bottle share. But by the time I got to the bottle share, the beer was gone because once Garrett Oliver had it, and he was like, "Oh, this is well balanced. This is nice. This is nice." And then everybody
He said that shit about your beer.
He said that.
That's some high fucking praise.
he said that. And I wish I had like a camera or something there to record it.
Right,
You
for
remember because I
advertising.
got my book signed. So literally, when he was signing my Oxford book of beer, that's when, because that's literally when I met you, because
Yep.
you were like, man, I wish I would have thought about bringing my book to have him sign, and that was the first thing I thought about. Oh, he's gonna be there. Give me my book. I need to sign. And then my sister was like, yo, let him taste the beer. And I'm like, man, he's not gonna try to taste the beer, man. He don't want, man, everybody all in his face. He don't want. I'm not gonna bother him. She's like, Dave, he's fucking here to drink beer. Why wouldn't he drink the beer?
Right.
All right, man. And the crazy part is, I'm the outgoing one. I'm the youngest. I'm the outgoing one. She's the quiet, reserved one.
I saw that. I did see that aspect of it for sure. Right, but she was like, "Come on, man, let's go. If I know to do this, let's go." Right.
And I'm like, all right. And when he tried it, like that was it. Like literally, that was what 2019.
Yep.
Literally January 2020. That's when I launched the website. January 1st at 12 o'clock. January 1st, 2020 is when I launched the website. Because that was the praise. It was like, yeah, I had my friends that tell me it was good. Yeah, I had my family tell me it was good.
Right.
But I've been really studying and to have like a Garrett Oliver, really say that. It's like, what the fuck? And I'm not trained in this field. And he was like, this is the reason why I'm doing. And this is well before he had the Michael Jackson Foundation. He was still claiming that. And he was like, this is the reason why I'm doing this, because it's people like you that would love to be in craft beer, would love to be trained and get all the training for it. And this is what you did on your own. So imagine if you got trained to do it.
Right. And imagine if you had an unlimited supply or at least a deep pockets that, with all due respect, I'll say it so you don't. that many white brewers have, which is venture capital money, which is inheritance money, which is all these things that aren't afforded to black brewers. And this is why black brewers are less than 3% of the total
Shit, less than
breweries in
one.
America. Less than one when we're 13% of the population. So when people want to say, oh, there's not a diversity problem, that's where I point to. And if you want to fucking deny that, you can go ahead and deny whatever, because people love denying shit, whether it's science and all that, whatever. Real quick, Dave, Doug has the second he wants to tell us about.
Okay, so the second one's also from the north, but this one I had at the brewery, and I know it's excellent. This is their Dark Horse Dry Porter.
Okay. The North Brewery, they're out of what again, Doug?
Endicott, New York, which is a couple miles from where I live. They make excellent dark beers, especially stouts. That's what they're known for. But this is like a very classic.
So how can I get one of those? I didn't even see the beer. I like the can. Now, how can we discuss this off air to get you to, put one of those in there?
Can we get to Mack Brewing?
Of course. Just shoot me the address.
That is heralded by Garrett Oliver. Sorry, Doug.
Yeah, heralded. Hear that, everybody? All right. So, yeah, this is classic dry porter, really roasty, dry, just perfectly done because, usually their stouts are like, they do like a really good stout, but they do a million variants of them. Some of them are super sweet. Some of them are spicy, which the spicy ones I'm not so much a fan of. This is just a really good dry porter and surprisingly 7%, that's a high ABV for a dry porter, but really good on the palate. Tastes like I'm drinking like in an English pub. That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah, I definitely need one of them. I just had the Black is Beautiful, Paris Family, 2 Locals, and Love City. I have a 32 ounce growler. That and the one that they're putting in the can is not the same thing they have in the store, because what they have in the store is the barrel aged, and that is 10% of greatness.
Man. So real quick, Dave, we'll talk after we'll talk in post production, but you want to get on our beer list. We have some good people on it.
Yeah, we have some people that will send you some stuff.
Beer shipping list. Yeah, we got
Yes, please do.
Yeah, Doug, it looks yum. So now it's time for a sponsor.
Yeah, we didn't really discuss this, but we don't have a sponsor, so guess who's our sponsor? That would be you.
Dun, dun, dun. Now it's time for a sponsor. We have a very, very catchy banner down there. So this is the time that you talk about you. And so we have Mack Brewing. The thing you do have what I want to say is I think you're really busy because you have an event coming up, big event coming up, for a big, it's a big holiday for Black people. It's becoming a bigger holiday. And you know what, man, real quick, let me go on a rant. Father's Day again gets fucked. Father's Day, what did I see on some video that it's the 20th? It's the 20th celebrated holiday, Doug. Nobody gives a shit about Father's Day. Let's just say that. I'm not really whining. I'm just actually at this point stating a fact. Okay, cool. Now we have Juneteenth, which is the day before Father's Day, which is again going to eventually, in my opinion, trump Father's Day, because a lot of people are just figuring out what Juneteenth is. A lot of people are jumping on this wagon. A lot of people are starting to, me included, do projects where we're starting to work things around Juneteenth. I was not able to get my Juneteenth stuff off the ground, but in 2022, motherfuckers, I'm going to have a whole bunch of shit going on here in Madison, Wisconsin, when it comes to Juneteenth. And it's the day before Father's Day. So Father's Day just gets blah, blah, blah. We'll talk about that next week because next week's Father's Day, Doug. And I'm not whining. I'm just really, in my opinion, stating pretty much the fact that, like, it's just a after scene kind of holiday. But I think it's even going to be more again because the rise of Juneteenth. So, Dave, you have something going on Juneteenth?
Man, Juneteenth. Our inaugural Juneteenth celebration. This is our first official event for Mack Brewing Co., which started as literally I was just throwing the cookout, and I said, well, fuck it, why not do an event for Juneteenth? right here. And everything, it's not ticket, so to speak. It's just donations. So this is another form of just raising money for our end goal of a brick and mortar location in the West Philly area. We already talked about all of that. And what we're going to have is we're going to have food, of course. The minimum donation is $35. Everybody RSVPs. There is a secret location because we didn't want to um, have it and just everybody just pulling up. So we at least want to have a controlled environment. So people who never had the beer, especially in the Philadelphia area, never had the beer, wants to try the beer, they can RSVP. If you get on the list, we're going to email the address of where we're going to be at. Uh, 12 o'clock on the 19th because it starts at 2 to 5. Not a long time, just long enough to get your food. We will have vegan options for those, but we're going to have the beer for you to try. We're going to have beer for you to, take home with you if you would like. And this is going to be the time that you can really just kick it with me, chop it up with me, really see what I'm about. I think a lot of people really we're human beings, we need contact. So just to really see and be around me so you can understand where I'm coming from and understand that this is coming from a very organic place of why I'm doing it, where I'm doing it at, and why I'm doing it. So Juneteenth, June 19th, next Saturday.
Excellent. Um, can I say, like, is it a West Philly location?
Because that would narrow. I can't because that would narrow it
Okay.
down so much.
Oh, it would. It would. I'm bad. I'm sorry. You're right.
I can't.
No, like,
All I would say is we're going to be
Cobb's
outside.
Creek. Cobb's Creek.
Um, it will be outside. I mean, you can bring your chair. I would much rather prefer a blanket, but I don't know what the weather. I haven't even looked at the weather yet. I don't want to jinx myself. I haven't looked at the weather to see what it is. My ideal of it in my mind was like everybody has a blanket, just kicking back and able to just enjoy everything. We outside. You can
All right.
smoke. You can do everything you need. As far as the
All right.
GoFundMe, we are again fundraising for the brick and mortar location. I know a lot of people when they seen the final cost, it was 250,000, and everybody was just like, that's so much money to ask for. I seen people start breweries with less. I seen people start breweries with 70, $50,000, and I say to you, did they start a brewery or are they still working on it? Because I don't know a brewery that started with that much money yet. I haven't seen them. And the whole thing is with I don't know about everybody else's state, but I know in the state of Pennsylvania, you have to be distributed by a third party. And if we're less than 1%, African Americans are less than 1% in the craft beer industry, then I'm pretty sure we're damn near nothing when it comes to distribution. And when you're talking about distribution, let's think about that for a minute. Like it's one person in the state of Pennsylvania that distributes Yingling to the whole state. No one else can do that. So you're looking at all these different distribution companies that will have your beer. And if you know anyone that works at a distribution company, whatever doesn't sell or doesn't move as fast, what happens? Y'all gonna take that home on Fridays. And as an up and coming company, I know that's what happens. I don't have that to lose.
Yeah.
So the whole aspect of why we're doing what we're doing, we're trying to control the narrative from start to finish. And I think that will give us a leg up on a lot of different people. So in the state of Pennsylvania, you would have to open up a brew pub. Um, it would have to be able to feed at least 10 people at minimum to be able to self-distribute. And if you're self-distributing, then you build that way. And I'm all about the slow grind. I know a lot of people just want to throw a lot of money in it and just start and go massive from the rip. And for me, I don't think that's healthy. I think the organic growth is the best. Uh, I don't think it's healthy to come up and have 20 different styles of beer and you only been in business for 8 months. Um, I have an IPA. I have a couple more that I actually have in cans that will also be out there at the festival. But excuse me, but it's not something that I'm really pushing because I want to get this one off the ground and then I want to go. I still have a book of ideas that I haven't even like put in play yet. And I'm a high gravity person. So the IPA is 10%, lemongrass, lemongrass, lemongrass and honey ale, that's at 14%. And the
Look at that.
like I said, I haven't
You
even
have
put it
my
out there yet.
attention.
And the limited edition on the GoFundMe for the high donors, they were going to get all four. So it was the IPA, the lemongrass, and the barley wine, which is clocking in at 19.6%.
You heard that, Doug?
You'll be getting a donation from me pretty soon.
So and the thing about those
speaks to
is
my heart.
the lemongrass is going to eventually come out. That's actually something that I'm dedicating to a schoolmate of mine who passed away. That he kind of also gave me that notion to go forward with the brewing company. But the high, I call it high noon. High noon is the lemongrass. Excuse me. High noon is the barley wine, the 19.6. And once that's going, it's going. So I'm not making it again, and we're thinking about something else for those donors. Like once we really get get in play. I don't want to put too much out there, but let's just say custom glass, and we're working on a few things. We're working on a few things. I did just get an email. I apologize. I haven't been the best with the emails because I'll be on the go and I try to check them on my iPad because that way I'm sitting in the house. I have to sit here and I have to look at everything. So that's why a lot of people it's better reaching me or are reaching someone on the team on Instagram because it's on their phone. But emails, I know I had someone ask me about like the sweatshirt. When you go to the descriptions in the GoFundMe, it has like the different tiers in there. And they asked me about the sweatshirt because we didn't get them yet. We were waiting for more people to try to order it before we put in an order. We didn't just want to order one. And then now the person we had that were going to do them for us, I don't know what happened, but I'd rather not do it. So I'm getting someone else to do it. So those that have made the donations for the sweatshirts, you will get them. You are on a list. We did not forget. It's not like any of the other GoFundMe's. You made a donation. You did get the other gift. The only thing you didn't get was the sweatshirt. So
All right.
I will get you the sweatshirt. And I'm not saying that to sound like I'm up irritated or anything like that.
No.
I'm really saying that because I seen an email like a couple days ago. And I at the time I was about to respond to it, but I got caught up with something else. And I'm as soon as I'm off here, I'm going to respond to the email because I that's on me.
I feel you. So summing up though, so then Juneteenth fundraiser and get-togethers next Saturday, right?
Next Saturday.
Okay, and that's
Next
Juneteenth.
Saturday.
So then that's when and we can get all that information at mackbrewing.com.
Mackbrewing.com.
Yep, and you can also get the fund. You can also get to the GoFundMe through that. But how I got to it, and I just want everybody to know, I just put in Mack Brewing GoFundMe, and it was the first link. So you can do that. You can go through Mack Brewing Co. I suggest everybody look at this. Because again, I'm kind of with what you when you started talking about the GoFundMe, I was kind of with that because first time I saw it, I was like, damn, man, wants 250,000. Like it almost was like everybody watches Shark Tank, and like you know how like everybody's seen the show, right? So they're like, you want an evaluation? You want $250,000?
And you have no
for what? Right. So I almost took it. I think everybody has that, like, everybody goes through like the Yupification where they're like, so scrutinized. Everybody has that. Like, there's a part of culture that always kind of touches people. This is the Shark Tank nature of us, where we become the businessman, and we know nothing about it. We know nothing about Mack's vision, what he wants to do.
Own
So
the
I'm going to
building.
ask you about this. I want you to explain this because I don't think, with all due respect, I don't think it's necessarily how you articulate it and how I've seen you articulate it to me and to other people. It's not explained on that GoFundMe. So I'm going to give you the time right now to do that. So
I'm gonna get
one of
my
the things that
charger
you
so
want,
this thing don't die on me, and I'm gonna
all right,
explain it all.
okay,
No worries,
what?
man. Do what you need to.
Yeah. I just want you to explain your vision, because
You
again,
said
I've
own the
heard it
building.
and I've
You
seen
said
it.
own the building, and then there's
Um,
also like brew tanks, and there's equipment, and there's a
well,
million different things.
right, but more importantly to me is location. So I want you to talk to the people about where you're thinking and like your vision of the whole thing. Because again, I don't feel that it comes through on your GoFundMe page.
So, the vision, what we want to do, like I said before, with the whole West Philly thing, I want to be in West Philly. I don't want to be, um, I want to be in the 60th Street, 63rd Street area, close to Cobb's Creek. I want to be in that area because when you think about all the other breweries, they're in every other part of Philadelphia. They're on the other side of 52nd Street, going towards 40th Street, going towards University City, and everything is coming up this way. So I want to get a foothold on the section of West Philly where I'm coming from. That's one.
60th Street.
60th Street, 61st. I want to be up that way. I don't want to be back this way. I want to be forward. Uh,
I
High gravity, high numbers. Secondly, I want to
This
own a
is a
building.
dream, man. I know it's a dream, not a dream. It's going to happen for you. To me, this is a dream. This is
Hey.
fucking fantastic. That's my shit. That's where I'm from. That's my stomping ground, man.
I have to own the building. The building must be owned because at the end of the day, it's already gentrification going on in Philadelphia, period. If you come downtown, if you go downtown Philadelphia, it looks like fucking New York. It's fucking billboards on electric billboards on the side of the building. I've never seen that shit as a kid. It's fucking tacky to me. And the property values are going up, rent is going up. And right now, craft beer is a hot topic. Craft beer is the thing right now. Everybody wants something to do with craft beer. So I don't want to lease a building and be able to lock in a lease for the next 5-8 years, and then I'm priced out, which a lot of black-owned companies, Harriet's Bookstore, there's a couple black-owned companies, black-owned businesses that had to put a GoFundMe up as they're in business because their rent's going up or the rent's about to go up, and then now they're like, well, if you don't want the rent to go up, then you can buy the building. And now you got to come up with that money. So I don't even want to put myself in that hole of not thinking that far ahead. I want to own the building. Two, first and foremost, the equipment is going to cost if I was to price out just to get shit sent to the building once I get it, you're talking about 80 to 90 grand just on fermenters and fucking tanks. That's 80 grand right there. We didn't talk about a canning machine. We didn't talk about the ingredients. We didn't talk about cans. We didn't talk about kegs. We didn't talk about refrigeration. We didn't talk about any of that. The building alone, I just told you, homes in West Philly are going for $250,000. So this yeah. The next step is eventually we want to self-distribute. So I have a sister, she's in the business world. So the whole goal is for us to be able to put a
ear ringing.
hey man, ownership is key. We have to own it from beginning to end. And if I can control how it's being distributed, if we can control how it's being distributed, if we can control the location where we're at, then we can help the masses. When it comes to drinking, when it comes to the whole craft beer industry, I see a lot of things. I see a lot of, we're talking about the music, we're talking about the culture, we're talking about the fashion and food. But what we're not talking about is something that we keep forgetting about. We're talking about every other drug in America. We're talking about, people having issues, but alcoholism has seemed to be on the back burner. It's alcoholism is still a problem. I make beer and I love to drink beer, but there is a fine line between enjoying and overly indulging. And these are things that we need to be able to teach. And if you don't have that space to be able to teach people how to consume these beers, because like I told you, I like high gravity beers. This is not your Bud Light. This is not your Bud. You cannot drink a whole can of this or a six pack of this and think that you're going to be okay. It's not going to happen. I will be the first one to tell you it's not going to happen. And eventually, we want to be able to teach people how to drink, because I don't know about you, Doug, but 21 years old, we trying to take 21 shots.
Yeah, that didn't work out so well for me.
It's not going to happen. You might make it to 4, especially if it's your first time drinking.
Preach, Dave.
So it's about trying to teach these people how to drink. I want to be able to have a space that, your kid turned 21. This is the place you bring them. Not only are you going to indulge and drink beer, you might get a little tipsy, but when you leave, you're going to know the difference between, okay, I do like the way this tastes. I like the way this feels. But the overall feel is when you wake up the next morning and say, you know what? I don't like this. I'm done with this. Yeah. And you didn't do anything fucking stupid. You didn't get behind the wheel. You didn't, you didn't do anything stupid. It's a million things can go wrong. But if this brand, this company does not take that initiative and make sure, like the lemongrass and honey ale, I was telling my sister and she laughed at me. I said, man, when it finally comes out, I'm probably gonna put it in 8-ounce cans. And she said, why would you do that? People gonna think you jipping them. I said, because at the end of the day, the average person will get a 16-ounce can. They'll complain about paying whatever much it was for a 4-pack, but they'll get a 16-ounce can, not knowing that you're supposed to share that. That's not for you to drink. That's not just, you don't just get that pint can and down it yourself, which most of us do. But the idea of it is to share. Beer is a community. We hear all the other companies talk about community, bringing the community together, but we're missing the important part. This is the beer and how it's packaged and consumed is designed about community. It's designed on sharing. You're not supposed to, if you were to get, yes. If you were to get this I don't know, 16-ounce Mack IPA in your hand, don't be a fool and drink that to yourself. I'm not, and I make it. So
to that point, like, how you see the cans of soda that are like this big?
Mm-hmm.
They're 8 ounces. And you know what? You get a 6-pack of that, and it's cheaper, but you know what? How easy is that to hand out to folks that you're with?
And that's all you really need. You really don't need the whole 12 ounces. You
big
only
gulp.
need that.
The big gulp.
Like, you don't need that shit. Like, we're on this whole craze on eating healthy and being healthier.
Right.
I gotta eat seaweed every day. Listen, I'm not eating that shit. I want to stop eating red meat too. But you know what? I'm gonna have fucking brisket at this cookout, and the barbecue sauce is gonna be made with my IPA. After that, we can slow down a little bit more. But a little bit of indulging isn't gonna hurt me.
Doug, I still haven't followed back up on them. Who are those people on Twitter that we saw that talk about this? They talk about changing the narrative on beer, meaning enjoy your beer, but it's not an indulging thing. And
there's lots of folks who actually talk about that, and I wish I can't remember off the top.
We're gonna get somebody on to talk about this, but Dave is already putting it down. And Dave, you remind me of a brewery out here called Giant Jones, and their thing is Jessica Jones is the brewer. She's fantastic, but her thing is that she only does big ABV beers. So I rolled in there the first time, skeptical as fuck. Walked right up to her, was like, "Hi, how you doing?" We got into it, but at some point I was like, "So how are you responsibly going to pawn off these beers as big beers?" She just went down a list of like, look, first of all, when you come here, I only got 1 ounce pours. And you know why I got 1 ounce pours? Because I want people to understand from jump that these are bigger beers. So you can only get 1 or 2 ounce pours for like $3. So literally, I walked in there the first time, tried all their beers from their small things, took 2 of their bottles home for like $11. And so they made it affordable. They made it approachable. Doug's had a bunch of their beers. They're fantastic. They drink like 6%, and meanwhile they're like 11. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure your Mack I'm sure the Mack beers are kind of like this too. Where again, because we even got Latifah over here saying, man, I don't know if you should be doing that 8 ounce. And you're already thinking, man, 8 ounces might be enough of a service size for one person, just so they know.
And it could also be a marketing thing.
Right, but what I like about it is that like you have this mindset already in, as far as like you're not just shilling these big beers. You have a mindset, and you have a way to explain it to your people, and that's how Giant Jones works too. Because she sold me when she's like boom boom boom. She told me all this, and then she's like, here's some. I went back again. I tasted all their beers. I wasn't tipsy. I wasn't at all. Actually, I walked out of there feeling good, but I mean, I had all their big ABV beers. So I'm just, this can be done, and you have to have your kind of mindset in order to do it.
It's definitely what I want to do, because I think what I've seen, we all have people in our family. Well, some of us have people in our family that just abuse. They have some type of some form of substance abuse, and a lot of it begins with alcohol. And I want to make sure that not only am I showing people a different avenue and a different road of making money, and being a trendsetter when it comes to that, but at the same time being able to show you responsibly. And I said this numerous times on different podcasts. A lot of people have forgot about the whole alcoholism. We know about every other addict in the world, but just because that kid's parent is a functioning alcoholic, oh man, they're fine, they're good. They're just a drunk. No, that's really still a problem. Like,
right.
If they have kids, that's an issue. And I want to make sure that I'm being responsible, and I don't see enough of that, especially in the Black community. That was actually one of the first things I wanted to do, because we always see the corner stores that's selling the 211s and the Old English and the 40 ounces and the Colt 45s and things of that nature, and it's always a bunch of broken glass and cans in the middle of the street, and no one takes responsibility from this. No one. It's nothing, this guy's drunk and he goes home and he's doing whatever, he or she goes home and do whatever. And it's like, no one takes responsibility for this. And if I'm going to be in this community, that's what I want to change. Because if you come from around there, I don't have to tell you, Red Fox, Red Fox is shut down on the corner of 60th and Locust. And I think the building is for sale. But that comes from years and generations of abusing the community, and now the community is finally, nah, you can't keep doing this. This ain't, you're not doing nothing for us. You're not buying kids books. At the least you can do is buy a composition book. You selling it to, you see this person walking in 10 times a day. They not even trying to buy a 6-pack. They just want one every time. One. 2 hours later, give me one. Clearly, they have a problem. And 9 times out of 10, you see them walk around and they got a family. So therefore, it's not charity at this point. You're taking care of your community. Eventually, you got to be able to wean that person off, but they got to do it on their own. You can't force them to do it. They're gonna do it how they're gonna do it, but you got to take care of your community, and that's the goal. And if I don't have ownership and I don't control my production, then I can't control my outcome, and I can't control how I'm going to give back. And that's so when it comes to wrap it all back up, the GoFundMe, that's why.
Boom. Doug?
Man, how do I follow that up? That was just
You don't. You don't.
All right, I'm gonna follow it up with a beer. How about that?
All right, there you go. That'll.
All right. So this is from some place called Foam Brothers. I've never heard of them. They're out of Vermont.
Who?
Foam Brothers.
Vermont makes some good beer.
Foam?
Foam. FOAM Brewers. Jammy Tan.
Wow.
This is a black ale.
Okay.
10%.
Kind of appropriate. Kind of appropriate.
Yeah, 10%, which it's a fucking black ale at 10%. Says
Listen,
nothing else
man.
on it. Just got this cool ass fucking artwork.
That's all you need. Simplicity is key.
Right. Well, that's
Just nifty fucking artwork, man, with the pills.
I like it.
Ellis.
Can you turn it upside down? I want to see the other side. No. Yeah, okay. Turn it. No. Turn the label upside down. Yeah, there you go. And then turn it back. Yeah. I just wanted to see the artwork. It looks crazy.
You can see the right. It's
turn it this
right.
way.
Yeah. It kind of works upside down.
Maybe I'll do that way from here on out.
Wow.
No, I just picked this up one because it's a black ale and it's like 10%. That's like ridiculous for a black ale. But never
Foam
that
Brothers.
Foam Brewers.
See, man, like if they had a brew pub, like they gotta have foam coming out of it. Like
that would be like a foam party. That would be awesome. Like you're walking.
Well, I don't know how much that would be with the whole COVID thing now, but
but you can't be called Foam Brothers and not at this point give me some foam when I walk in your shit.
That looks good.
This is never gonna work. All right.
That looks.
Whew. Smells like I don't know. It smells perfectly like a black ale. Like I know there's not a lot of those. No, this is black ale, not black IPA, Jerry.
A black ale can be a black IPA, right? Because an IPA is an ale. This thing.
Oh, that's
sounds like something else.
That is freaking
antibacterial foam, Mac, and then we can take care of that shit.
Yeah.
Right.
We're a dirty glass gang here. Everything's dirty. But this is like, so I'm expecting like almost porterish with black ales. This is not. This is almost sweet. It's super unexpected. I wish I knew what the fuck they put in this because they didn't have any. Looks like it's made with lactose or what? No, it's 10% and it's delicious, but it's not like cloyingly sweet. But it's got a little bit of roastiness. Yeah, I'm gonna have to buy more of that stuff. That's really good. I've never heard of that place. I just stumbled into it today, and I was like, I'm buying one of those just because I love the can art. So
it definitely you have to look at the can art upside down.
Yeah, upside down. I never did that before.
Wife here.
Another one for Daniel Fisher.
Yeah, I mean, and then we're talking about some crazy ass. This can art is this. Y'all, what your can art is this? I mean, y'all crazy. Look at this. This is like literally like a work, just like yours, Doug. Like a work of art on a can.
How many? What's the APV on that? Because I see the shrooms. I see the shrooms in the label. So I want to know like what they got.
Not
going
on mine. On yours.
No, that's on yours.
On mine?
Oh,
you ain't see the mushrooms in that label?
Oh, now I do. Yeah, like right. Look at that. Boom.
All right. So I have one of those in my fridge too. So yeah.
7.6. New England style IPA. A big old New England style IPA. Kind of a style. I really want to see where the style goes after the pandemic, actually. Whether it goes downhill or uphill. Because again, it's just an IPA fad. Now, IPAs aren't a fad overall. But within the IPA group, clearly there are fads, whether it be Brute, whether it be New England, whether it be all that milkshake. Yeah, and I'm not even trying to open that can of worms. But we
hey,
can
listen,
if we want.
They tell me to call mine a double IPA. I just
ABV?
At this point, because it's 10. It's 10.
And what's the IBU?
Shit, I don't.
Crazy, crazy though, right? It's high. Don't lie.
No. Actually, no. The reason. So this is what it is. It's actually not, and it's not because the acidity and everything on it. It's not on the West Coast style. So I don't
Okay.
know. Maybe I'm making my own style. I don't know. It's more hoppy on the back end. I will definitely send you guys some, and you let me know.
All right.
It's more on the back end. It's not like a crazy, uh, overly hoppy,
Okay.
zesty feeling. This is for my smokers. This is the meat and then the cheese, and it's just like it goes together for the smokers. I don't care what you smoke,
Okay.
whatever
Okay.
it may be.
So before we wrap, which we might do soon, Mac, what I really need to talk to you about, or what I really wanted to say is, this week you, in my, this is not my opinion. This week you took a historical picture, and it was cool when I saw it. And I posted on my Facebook page. You met with you met at one of my favorite places that I remember in Philly. Actually, is Love City. I remember going there. I had a good old time. The problem is that we were on a whole day tour of Philly breweries, and we ended up at Love City. What was it? 7 o'clock on a Saturday night. So
Oh man,
like, right. So Love City was out of control. Like
of course.
pre-pro COVID. I mean, they just had that place packed in. It's a really, really, I mean, for a place, it's a really, really nice place if you're gonna pack a lot of people in, because it's
Hmm.
just broad and it's just tall and it's just really, really nice. But you were there with one of the people I'm friends with on Facebook, but I haven't talked to him that much, is Timothy White, from Harris Brewing, and all those wonderful
That's a
fellas
cool
there.
dude, man.
Oh my god, I gotta get him on. I just haven't approached him, but every time I see him talk, he's another one that, like, if I see him talking anywhere, I'm jumping in. Like you, Kinky Suds, Afro Beer Chick, him. There's just certain people on my list.
Oh, I don't even have one of those. I need one.
Right. There are certain people on my list that if I see on like Instagram or whatever, or I
Mm.
know that you guys are going to be on the screen, I'm jumping in. So Timothy White, fantastic. The Harris brothers. I met all you mofos at um Fresh Fest. And again, I can't say how much Fresh Fest has changed my life as far as even just the way I look at black breweries. And the way I even look at, again, I told you it changed my life as far as even how I look at Philly and how I'm really ready to go back. And I can talk. I got stuff to talk about in post production about Philly that I don't really want to discuss, personal things that
Mhm.
happened to my family at the end of Philly, but ultimately that really feeds into my negativity towards Philly. But again, I've learned so much from Fresh Fest, man. Yeah, Jerry says Fresh Fest was the business.
It is.
If I
And the
don't
crazy
go
part,
this
Sean is
year,
from West Philly. Sean is from Southwest. Sean grew up from Harris family. Sean is
yes,
from 58th and Whippy.
and it's all so like tight. So I don't know if you want to talk to the people a little bit about that meeting, just the significance of it,
um,
because it was significant. When I saw it, I was like, oh, okay. And I don't even know who that third brewery is, so I don't know if you want to talk about them too. I know Harris and I
so
know you, but who's the other one?
two locals.
Two
Two
locals. Okay,
locals. So
so two
when I
Philly locals.
first
Two Philly locals, I guess, is what it
yeah.
is. Okay, okay.
So
Go on. I'll
once
shut up.
once they came up, they're out of so their brewery, they're actually trying to start in Philly as well. So when I first like got came back home and really like started ramping up on just getting the beer out there because the whole goal was just getting beer to lips. And I did a radio interview and somehow I stumbled across it because at the time I was Googling, I was trying to figure it out. I've never saw because I said if I'm gonna say I'm gonna be the first in Philly, I need to make sure. And I did like an extensive search and I never found them. And then somehow I did an interview and somehow we got connected and they so when I was starting in North Carolina and getting my recipes together, they were just here in Philly. So you have two locals, they're in Philly. You have Mack Brewing Co. that's in Philly, and then Harris Family Brewery, they're in Harrisburg. So
Yep.
we are the only three in the state of Pennsylvania.
The entire state,
Yes,
Yes.
like not
Yes.
even in Pittsburgh.
the only state.
No. Right. Right.
The
Wow,
only
that's
the only
awesome.
three.
But like, wow, I'm surprised.
Right. Right.
So
So
that
we're
was like the
we're
picture. I took it from here. Timothy took the picture. Somebody took. I think Timothy took the picture.
no.
It was
He
me,
was in it.
Sean. Well, somebody took the picture
Yeah.
and they posted it. I knew they had it, but this was like because that picture was from like a week or two ago, and I knew they had it when they posted it. I said, "Yo, this is dope." So I reposted it on my page, and that's why I said the caption. I'm like, "This is definitely a historical picture." You have I did. That's the only part I left out.
Mhm.
1/3 of Harris family is from West Philly, and everyone else, two locals, they're from West Philly. Everything
Oh, okay.
comes from West Philly.
So real quick, two locals. I
Yeah.
was going to ask you what part of Philly they're from. So they're from West Philly, and then are they planning
Mhm.
a brew pub too?
I don't know if they're branding a brew pub. I haven't really got into the. We were talking before about how they were setting up. I know they're doing some contract brewing.
Yeah,
Um,
right, right.
I didn't
As,
do the contract brewing side. I was talking to a couple other people. I was talking to like a Montclair, uh, and a couple other people to do the contract brewing side. But I had some people approach me. I just didn't like how it was set up. Um, and at this point, I just didn't want to rush out. I just want to take my time. I want to make sure it's right, and make
Mhm,
sure our
mhm.
paperwork and everything is right. Because at the end of the day, I'm a very I got a family to go home to. I don't want to have to be Suge Knight to nobody. Not because the paperwork wasn't right, not because the beer wasn't there right.
Right. So
I
do
just
we
want to
have a
make some
time?
dopeness.
So do you have a timetable on so how do I get Mac Brewing beer? How do I do that?
Right now, because at one point it was the whole sticker. You brought the sticker, it came with a free gift, and we got it out to you that way. The reason why we slowed down on that because we were getting a little bit more traction, and I didn't want anybody to get upset or anyone to. I didn't want anybody to snitch on me and then fuck around. And when it's time for me to actually make the big move, I can't make the big move because how I was moving before. So
Mhm.
the whole goal was to get the beer out there to people. It worked. Now it's just about raising funds. I have a few people that would
Mhm.
like to invest. Again, it just has to make sense. And if it
Mhm.
if it doesn't make sense, I'm not with it. So if it takes me the timeline, I would love to have this shit going by fucking September. But and realistically, hopefully in the next 3 years, having a brick and mortar.
All right. All right. Excellent. And again, if you guys want to help Mac, which I don't know why you wouldn't, check over to the Mac Brewing Company GoFundMe. You can get that barley wine. I'm pretty sure that Doug wants to get, or the honey and
Listen.
lemongrass.
I'm gonna send it to y'all so y'all can taste. It's going to be it's a bit malty. It's
It's a barley
it's
wine. That's what you expect.
Right.
you taste it. Let me know. I had an untapped. I had somebody on untapped tell me, the IPA was like trash and it was a chugging beer. And I was on another podcast and it was like, but I don't think that's a bad thing. I chug all my beers. And I'm like,
Oh, oh, Doug, we missed an opportunity. We could have had Dave. We could have had Mac read his bad tweets and his bad
Oh, give us style.
untapped.
You're like bad food,
Yeah.
I didn't have any
Right.
bad tweets. It was the
bad
untapped.
reviews. We could take
So
one that
We
bad
gotta
untapped reviews.
right, and then
listen, I
have
see how
them
celebrities feel because it hurt me a little bit. Then I was telling my friends, I'm like, hey man, look, they said this shit sucked. And they were like, bro, you really just read that? While they're saying this to me and cracking open one of my beers, like, oh, you really just read that? Oh, okay. Well, I mean,
right.
I think they're lying.
It's a little easier when you're a celebrity and you can like walk back into your mansion. You're not going to cry if some fucking dingus over on Twitter is giving you shit.
Yeah,
Nobody.
but some of them do though, dog. Some of them do.
Hey, listen, I don't have the brick and
So,
mortar yet. Maybe if I had my own little spot and I was brewing some beer, I'd be like, okay, well, whatever.
don't,
You're always going to have people who shit on stuff that you do.
but dog,
But
don't get right. But don't get me started on KD and his burner account. So some of these motherfuckers do give a shit about what we say on Twitter.
We talking
It's
about
true.
A
burner
lot of people
account.
haven't been famous that long.
What?
A
What'd
lot
you
of
say,
people ain't
Doug?
been famous and rich that long.
Right. What'd you say, Doug?
We talking about burner accounts.
Right. Burner account? Right. Right. But
Sorry.
again, Katie had to have a burner account because, and then he goes over there and goes off on people because he gives a shit about what people say about him.
Yeah,
And I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but he does.
but he's if you all right. But in the NBA, he's fairly unique in that a lot of the guys don't give a shit. But
It's
Yeah.
true.
he's a guy that does.
Right. I don't know. Every once in a while, you'll see LeBron fire off on someone too, though. So
Yeah, but
I think we're all human. I think we're all human, and like Dave's beer is Dave's creation. So
Yep.
on some level,
That's his baby
that's
in
a-
another way. Yeah.
right, right. And I don't know, man. Like that's why I said when we used to go to beer events and used to go to beer, festivals, I would never just pour out a beer in front of a brewer. Like I just wouldn't do that. Like I can get on Untapped and give him a bad rating. I can just talk to him about, hey man, this isn't my vibe. Is there something going on with this? But I just wouldn't be disrespectful and just pour out his beer.
Yeah,
Unless you're a fucking asshole, and that's a different thing. Then you're an asshole. Then it's all bets are off. But if you're not an asshole, in my opinion, I just don't see the productiveness of it.
I think what I'm really starting to notice because it's beers, it's IPAs. I'm an IPA fanatic, but it's IPAs out there I just fucking hate. But I don't like them. That doesn't mean they're selling, and it wasn't until I really I'm looking at the business side of it and I'm looking at like people moving units, and it's like at the end of the day, let's think about this. I don't have any friends that drinks Pabst Blue Ribbon, but you know what? Pabst Blue Ribbon ain't slowing the fuck down. So somebody's drinking it and somebody's fucking loving it.
Right.
Rolling Rock, Keystone, they're selling beer. So it's like just because you don't like it doesn't mean someone else does. Like someone likes it. You know what? They're gonna keep buying it. Like I didn't like the fucking Skechers up the little thingies that had the little
risers,
little
like
bend
the
in
things
them,
that you
the
did with
shape
the
ups,
walking.
whatever the fuck they called them, the shape ups that they had a whole lawsuit on because people really thought they were walking, getting in shape because of the way the sole was. I didn't like them shits either. But you know what? Somebody brought them. A lot of people brought them.
Right.
And a lot of people
Right.
see because they still didn't get in shape, and that's how they said it was going to happen. But the point is, hey man,
Right. Darren says yes, it's a hard thing at first, but we can't please everyone. Darren does barbecue.
Yeah.
And his
He wants
barbecue guy.
stuff. He's
So
the guy.
I'm sure Darren hears some shit about. Right.
And he's going to be on in October. He's actually going to be on in October, not August.
There you go. It would be great if people would be kind of keep their BS to themselves. This is true, JSJ. But on some level, though, and I just want to give a chance for Mac to understand or to respond to this. But on many, many levels, most breweries and brewers want your feedback. So they want it to be constructive, though. They don't want to be, oh, this IPA is trash. Well, okay. It may be trash, but where's the constructiveness in it? Where are you trying to help me here? Or are you just trying to trash me? I could say your IPA is really, what did Garrett Oliver say? Your shit's
well
balanced, right? He gave a constructive. He said it was good, but he also gave you a constructive thing that said, "Hey, your shit's balanced. You don't even have to worry about the balance part. You can worry about something else." So that's criticism. So I would say, man, your double IPA, man, it's lacking body. Maybe there's a little mouthfeel that we could work on because it feels a little thin. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't just say your IPA is trash unless it's like diacetyl and unless it's a fucking mess. I'm not gonna, So I don't know. I think I agree. With
it's still the way you say it. It's just like. So if you're
fine,
creating
constructive is BS. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, I do want people to tell me what they feel about it. If you don't like it, that's fine. I want you to tell me you don't like it. I would love to hear why you don't like it. But if you don't feel the need to give that reason or you don't feel comfortable enough to tell me, I promise you, I'm very approachable. You tell me you don't like it, I might make a face because my face is like, well, why? Why don't you like it? Is it too strong? Most people that told me it's boozy. I had a person that drinks beer. They told me the shit was boozy. You know what? It is. It a 10%, you
Well,
know,
right. It's
it's
part
gonna
of
get you there.
right. But that's why,
Um,
like you're like me. That's why you only have 3 ounces. Your barley wine is probably so rich that it's probably only a 5 ounce pour. Like people have to get used to not drinking 16 ounces of one beer.
Well,
Like Doug and I
that's
Doug
the
and I talk about this.
purification of everything. Yeah.
Doug and I talk about this all the time. A lot of beers, you can just get the full enjoyment out of that motherfucking beer with 4 ounces. Period.
mhm.
You can taste everything about it. You can get everything out of it, and you can move on. So, like again, Max beers aren't these big mug beers that can fit into this. Right, this picture. That ain't Mac shit. Okay, if you want to go, listen, there's probably going to be a lager house right up the street from Mac after he settles. You know what I mean? Because you know what happens one craft brewery shows up, then 3 of them come around. You know how this
Mhm.
works. And that's another thing that I think that I'm not saying you don't understand. I don't think people understand as far as your vision goes. Come one, come them all. And so if you plant one brew pub in Philly, people are going to in West Philly. People are like, what? A brew pub in West Philly? Like what I said before. Like I don't even know what the hell you're talking about. You're talking about like Mars and Venus because I don't even know how those mesh. But all of a sudden, once there's going to be one, there's going to be 3, and I guarantee this is going to happen. And this is what happens with craft brewers. So that's why Mac, I'm completely thankful for you coming on. I'm
Yep.
completely hopeful for your project. I will scream to the high heavens about it. Doug and I are going to be talking. Doug, we're gonna have to like, Mac. Like I said, I haven't. Full disclosure, I have not contributed to his GoFundMe yet, but it's coming.
Hey, I would
And
love for you to come down and just come down and kick
well,
with us.
if you're talking like a couple years for you to get the brick and mortar, I will unless something restrains me and it's a pandemic or some bullshit or something crazy goes on because you never know what's going to go on. Like the last year should have taught us that
You can't
there's
plan.
no guarantees.
Yeah.
Mac,
And they
do you have
talking about
anything?
this bird flu shit.
Mac, do you have anything in your glass?
No, I drunk it all. I drunk
Oh,
Remember,
okay.
he was trying to
I
take it
had the
easy.
whole lambic and I drunk it all. And I'm drinking
Okay,
water
I
from
was
now
gonna
on.
do a toast, but if you don't have one, Doug and I can do it after we let you go real quick. Before we get to post production, no worries. But I just wanted to say that like I will be at the opening of your pub, and the reason is because it's West Philly. With all due respect to you, I love you. We know I've already said this a gazillion times. So excited as hell this morning when I woke up that you were the guest. But West Philly and beer. If I'm not there for the opening, I just will feel this is not going to work. So I will be there. I don't know when it's going to be. You don't know when it's going to be, but motherfucker, I will be there. I promise, 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 promise.
Thank you,
Listen,
thank you, thank
still on
you.
this earth, I'm going to be there because again, it's very, very important. And I also want to be there with my boys. I don't know. You're talking
Yeah,
3 years. One of them might be like old enough to like drink and all that. So,
Yeah.
I
And
just want
Philly is 3 hours from my house, so I can be there too.
Let's go.
I
Well,
just
listen, you can come. You
I'm
can
going
come
to be
next
there.
Saturday.
I don't give a fuck. I'm
You can
going to
come
be
next Saturday.
Oh man, no, next Saturday, man. Jeez.
I also
If next Saturday was next year, I would be there.
Careful of that.
If next Saturday was next year, I would be there. So and this is the truth, man. I'm looking forward to Barrel and Flow this year. Looking at it now, Barrel and Flow.
I forgot. I'm sorry. Not to
It's the
cut
one
you
I
off.
have to go.
Yeah, no, let him figure this up. Let Dave talk about this part because I think I know where he's going.
Barrel and Flow. I will be there. I have 2 collabs. One is a 3-way collaboration with Trogs, Harris Family, and me. The next one is a collab with me and Montclair Brewing. So I'm Montclair out of Montclair, New Jersey. So yeah,
That's great.
Excellent.
Seriously, great stuff.
Excellent.
So yeah, my apologies for cutting you off, but yes.
No,
That's something we needed to hear.
Nope. And if I make one event this year, it's going to be Barrel Flow. So that's it. I haven't committed to any events yet, but if I do, it'll be Barrel Flow. Just for the simple reason of black breweries. That's it. It's really simple, actually. And I don't know, man. Like, Mac, I don't know if, again, lastly, I don't know if you want to talk about this before we let you go, but the impact that Fresh Fest had on not only this stream and the brand that I do and all this other bullshit, just my life in general and just the people that, again, have affected my life, including you and your sister. Again, about the Philly shit. Like, again, I can't say that enough. And it's just really profound for me. I don't know if you want to talk about that before we let you
go. Fresh Fest literally let me know I wasn't alone. I'm coming from, I went to a HBCU, so yes, I've been around black people all my life, but they did not enjoy the things that I enjoyed. They did not enjoy craft beer as much as I did. And Fresh Fest let me see that I'm not alone in this. This is not like a far-fetched idea that I just feel like I'm just like, what the fuck am I thinking? Let me just go back to my desk job. And being able to meet people, like T.O. and just people that tasted the beer, people that had the opportunity to taste the beer. L. Sharpton, everybody who tasted the beer gave me positive feedback. And that positive feedback gave me enough balls to say, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna start the website. I literally already had the LLC. I just didn't. I was just bullshit.
L. Sharpton said good shit about your beer.
Yeah, L. Sharpton wrote the article. I didn't even know. Like I was picking up. What was it like during the pandemic? Right. I seen the article, and the article had like saying Kofi and Spaceway Brewery in the picture of the article. But it talked about like so many different. I shared the article just because it was like, oh man, I seen it. I read a little bit of it. I was at work. I didn't read the whole thing. I'm like, oh man, this is dope. They gave a lot of people some prop. I shared it on my personal page and on the Mack Brewing page to realize, oh, he had a list of all the other black-owned breweries. And that's when I started getting more people following and more people. And I'm like, well, how the fuck are they following me? How did they find me? What did I do? And I read the whole fucking article. Reading is fundamental. I read the whole article. I didn't go to the very bottom because when you get on those blog sites, you gotta keep scrolling to see everything. And if you keep scrolling, it's a list of all the black-owned breweries in their websites. And I said, oh shit. So yes, it was like it's. And I would have never met these people without Fresh Fest.
A.L. Sharpton, not Al Sharpton.
No, A.L. Sharpton.
JHG, it's A.L. Sharpton. He's a blogger from Atlanta, and also he picked that name. No, he was on Meet My Friends. He was never on the stream. Yeah, but no, A.L. Sharpton. No, A.L. Sharpton. He got his name. He made his name off of Al Sharpton, Jonathan JSG. But the funny thing is, if you Google him and go to his website, he actually met Al Sharpton. So that's great. And also, Jonathan JSG, Al Sharpton had one of the dopest collabs, in my opinion, at Fresh Fest. Piano Keys, right? I get that. I got it wrong.
Yes, that was it. Piano Keys. That was some dope shit.
With New Belgium. Al, he says that he's going to do that again, and he says that it should be in distribution. But once he said that, the pandemic rolled in. So I'm expecting that we're going to see that. I don't know if you had that, Mac.
I did. That was at the brunch. That was at the brunch. Everybody had to slow down. Like, whoa, I can't keep drinking this.
Easily one of the best beers, and those collabs were off the hook. And also, before we let you go, Mac, that's a big high bar, man. Those collabs. Because all of them were fucking solid. There was really not one that was like, they were all good.
All solid, man.
All good. Yeah. So like that's really what's, to me, that's another thing that stands out about Fresh Fest is that all of the beer is solid. There was one or two beers that I was like, this really isn't me. But it wasn't like they were trash beers. It was just, again,
Wasn't it?
amazing.
It's beers I had to
Right.
slow down on. It's beers that I wish I would have had first.
Right.
Versus like I think that was my issue. It was beers that I wish like I can't drink this right now. But it was some dope beers I had at the bottle share. And if it wasn't for
The
that
model
pizza,
share was out of control. That was
if it wasn't for the pizza, and just to being able to meet everyone,
the people
everyone
that
is
was there.
approachable.
It was
Everyone
ridiculous.
is approachable from
Right.
Crowns and Hops to
Right.
like everyone is
Yes.
fucking approachable,
Yes.
and
Yes.
it's
And
love.
right. And I love to say this too. White people don't understand that black people, we just don't accept each other on face value. So we just don't walk down the street, see a black person, be like, "Hey, what's up? We're against whitey." No, it doesn't work that way. Okay, it never works that way. And that's one of the things that I took from it, Matt, that everybody's approachable, like everyone. Again, Fresh Fest was probably, I don't know, Mac, tell me if I'm wrong, 60% black, 40% else.
Yes.
So the else, Doug, the 40% of else, all approachable. And I mean all. You just walk up, you're next to someone, you're not, I was next to someone at the Afro Beer Chick booth, look over, they're white. Hey, what's up? What are you here for? Blah, 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 blah. It's just, everyone's approachable. No, there's no sugar offs, there was no weird looks, nothing. Everybody was approachable. I could literally
Afro
talk to
Beer Chick is the
everybody
reason I
there.
met everyone.
Well, look, man.
If it wasn't for Afro Beer Chick pulling me to the side, I wouldn't have met everyone. So like,
She pulled you to the side
because I had on a shirt one of my friends made. It was Beware Brand. Black women are really everything. And she seen my shirt, and we started talking from there.
Yeah.
But we had got invited to, me and my sister, after we was chopping it up with Garrett and all of them. We got invited to the bottle share because the bottle share was only for brewers. It wasn't any. If you weren't a brewer, a blogger, you were not supposed to be there.
I'm not either.
I mean, clearly you are.
All right, I'll take that.
So once that happened, like it was dope. And then I had the beer, and I had the beer in the bottle share as well. Both of them, the bottle share that we actually paid to go to, and then the little after party, I had the beer there as well. And it was all, man. It was, that was. I was really looking forward to it because that was like fresh. Well, Barrel and Flow is still gonna be the first festival I go to, but last year's Fresh Fest was supposed to be the very first beer festival I was supposed to like pour the beer in. So I guess it's still the first. I'm still gonna be at Barrel and Flow.
Yeah,
so,
you're gonna have two fucking collabs, bro. So, Mac, we're gonna let you go, but this hopefully will not be your first appearance. Or your
hey
last.
man, you just let me know. I'm with it.
Right, cool. Oh, it was with all due respect, it was kind of hard, in my opinion, booking you. I told Doug, but it wasn't really. I just needed to follow up on you. That was it. It ended up being hard because I made it hard. It's fine.
All you had to do was reach out. You let me know the day. You know what I'm saying? Listen,
you guys all know sometimes tasks can be easy if you don't make it hard. So sometimes you're your worst enemy. And on this aspect,
and we can go from there.
Thanks, Mac, for coming on. Please stick
you.
around. We will wrap this up quick because I got to talk to you about something.
Yep.
All right.
I can't say live on the stream.
Cool. Pleasure meeting you, Doug. Hopefully we'll see you next weekend.
I got some beer that's going to be sent your way, brother.
Yes, I need some of this Mac beer, and actually, Doug and I will get it on the stream, and we'll talk about it, and we'll scream about it, and I don't know, maybe we can have it for when Latifah comes on.
Yep.
Cool. When is? Oh, you said October. Okay, yeah.
No, August. Yeah.
August.
Doug got it straight. Doug and Latifah got it straight. I
didn't get it straight until she commented, so let's make that clear. I was not.
I'm not gonna lie. I was mad.
I was just like,
again,
I'm coming on this date, and I was like, all right, she's coming in August.
I was mad as hell. She said, I'm gonna be on the podcast with Daddy Porter. I was like, why the fuck he reach out to you?
Right. Right. Well, But with again, your sister had your back, of course, because she was like, "Hey man, did you talk to my brother first?" And I'm like, "Look, I've been trying to get your brother before, so I'm gonna get you, and then I'll work on him." So long story short, man, we had someone for tonight, but they had to back out. So then that's when I was like, "Dude, you come on the week before your Juneteenth. That would be amazing."
Cool.
So
And another thing, Facebook, because I see you communicate a lot through Facebook, and I just connected the Facebook Messenger to my something. I think it's my
Instagram.
iPad. Because I don't, to the Instagram on my iPad, because I don't. I don't have the Facebook app on my phone or anything.
Right.
It's too much. It's too much tracking when it comes to that stuff.
Don't. I know where I get you. It's cool. Don't get on Facebook. Don't listen. Stay off of Facebook.
The messenger, you'd be much better off.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Peace of mind and mindset. Yeah, man. Stay on Messenger. Right.
And I reach back out to people on Messenger, and it's like, damn, no, they sent this message fucking 3 months ago. All right. And it's like,
welcome to Facebook.
Right.
I don't want to be that person. And it's like, I said something to him. He didn't say shit back. It's like, I promise you I didn't see it.
August 20th. Damn y'all.
Hey man.
But Latifah's going to be great too, because we're going to get into even more about gentrification and the crazy shit that's going on in Philly. That I think that she broke it down to me at that bottle share, and I was just like, "What, lady? What?" Like the shit she was telling me, I was like, "No, I don't even know what you're talking about." She's like, "Yes, motherfucker." Like, and I'm just like, so the stuff that she has in her, you already heard it, of course, but I cannot wait to unpack all that and make sure that people hear about that kind of crazy. So, Mac, I'm gonna let you go, man. We'll be here for.
We'll go 10 hours.
Mac,
I'm gonna hang on, and you guys let me know.
Yep.
You know what I'm
saying? We'll be chatting with you in a few.
Absolutely, man. Especially any kind
Thank
of
you
thing
again.
Anything breaking, anything that you want to get the word out, breaking, any of that shit.
Yeah, let us know.
We are here for you. Hell, we'll make an extra show for you. We'll come on Thursday. We'll come on Monday.
For sure.
I will let you know.
Right. So thanks, Mac. Love everything about you and what you're doing, man. Can't say enough.
Thank you. You too.
Cheers, buddy.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Doug, what you got? Let's get out of here quick. I want to go talk to Mac.
Yeah. All right. First one was the Wolves with lime. It just was a weird combo. Like the nose was good, the flavor not so much.
Is that the North?
Yes.
Okay.
This was second. This Dark Horse Dry Porter was really fucking good. 7% was surprising with the ABV. This fucking Foam Brewers place, that surprised the fuck out of me. It was excellent. The black ale at 10%, like no listing of ingredients. I have no idea what the fuck's in it. It was excellent. I drank that thing super fast. So that's the winner.
All right. Well, I'm gonna, again, thank my friend Daniel Fisher for all these.
Yeah, because he put all your beers up tonight.
None of them stood out. It's like, hey, I'm better than you. But none of them stood out as, hey, I suck more than you. So they're all pretty good. I had a really good time. And you know what? Beer is enhanced by your surroundings, in my opinion. Or beer can enhance your surroundings. So if you're with good people talking good shit, then who gives a fuck about the beer, with all due respect? Give me paps. I really don't care. I'm serious. Sure. But so these beers
always talked about the idea of just being able to drink what you like, and sometimes the drink is incidental. And I think that's actually what makes this show good. It's like, yeah, we'll talk about drinks and maybe we'll segue in, but the conversation is what matters. And I mean, we just had great conversation. Mac was excellent.
Right. And the beers are excellent. So, Doug, next week we have our second week in a row of Black Brewers.
Yes.
Holy shit. We have Venture Brewing out of Milwaukee, who has Simon, who's the Black Brewer, and we're going to have Simon as the owner.
Better known as well.
Yeah, we're going to have two guys on from Venture Brewing. They also fuck with coffee really big. So we're going to have a coffee discount conversation. It's gonna be
for it.
great. Yeah, and Venture Brewing is one of my first breweries I want to go to, even though they're an hour away. So I still have not been to a brewery. Shh. Still have not been out to eat at a restaurant. Shh. All coming soon, but no rush. And actually, my first brewery that I go out to is going to be one that I have something working with coming up soon. So hopefully I will be able to say that. Oh shit, I'll announce it, but we're not going to see it now. There's a new logo. I will have a new logo. I have a new logo. Just haven't shown anybody. Doug, you've seen it, and what is your first impressions?
It's fucking awesome.
Cool. Good. The people who have seen it love it.
Greg, just go with it, man. Just enjoy it.
No, we're going with it. I'm still a little bit apprehensive about it, but you know why.
Hey, remember all that shit you give me when I poo-poo people talking about how I write stuff?
Right.
Right there.
I didn't make the logo, bro. I didn't make the logo, though.
Yeah, I don't care. It looks great.
All right. Well, anyway, excellent. Next week, probably, hopefully. So we still got to do some things behind the scenes. But yeah, we got a new logo, and we're going to have some new other shit going on. We have a fantastic interview that you have set up on Not a Friday.
No,
we'll talk about that soon. Yeah, we got some other things that we can't talk about. We were working on so much shit.
Folks,
but yeah, so we're actually doing shit around here and we're happy. So we're going to let y'all go. And we want to thank you guys again for your participation. Please hit up Mack Brewing Company, even if you just go there just to see what the hell he's doing, what's going on. Please just do that. If you can, we would love for you to do whatever you can to help him get his brewery launched. I mean, come on now, even Garrett fucking Oliver likes the beer. Yeah. So if Garrett Oliver signs off on it, motherfuckers, you can too. Okay, got it. Cool. You guys have a great weekend. It's gonna be hot. Still stay safe, even though our waning pandemic. Go out to breweries, go out to your restaurants, have fun, do all that shit. Vaccinated, of course.
Yep.
All right. You guys rock. Thank you for being you. Thank you for